Hello, everyone. My guest today is Chris Fox. He's been working online since 2003. He left school at 16 years old. He's self-taught and started working support for SaaS companies. He's now moved on to building his own software with his brother, Andrew. The company is called Zappable. They launched it 4 years ago. It's 100% self-funded and generated over 2.5 million bucks in revenue since launch. Chris, you ready to take us to the top?
Yep.
All right. Now. What does Zappable do? And are you guys a pure play SaaS company?
Yeah, well, Zappable's a mobile app builder. So it's kind of, if you're looking at, it's kind of like the Wix for mobile apps, where people can go and it's point and click simple to build mobile apps for their business or for using our reseller program to build it for other businesses. That's basically the simplicity of it.
Okay, and do you charge on a monthly? You mean you guys are pure SaaS?
Yep, we charge. At the minute, it's $297 per year. That was our first package, and then as time went on, we began creating new packages to sell on to our existing customers.
So what's kind of the current customer base? What's the average they pay per month today?
The average they pay it's mainly yearly at $297 per year.
Okay, so it's still about $297 per year.
Yep.
Or about $25 a month.
Yeah.
Okay. And when did you and Andrew jump into this? What year? When did you launch?
It started, we had been doing sort of products before this, but we always wanted to get the big one, if that makes sense, something that we could really sort of bite our teeth into. And around 2013, the world was just going mobile. Everything was going to start being run from people's phones and apps.
So Chris, what year did you launch?
We launched in 2015.
Okay, 2015. Got it.
Yep.
And then help me understand, you and your brother, what have you guys scaled to in terms of total customers today?
We're currently sitting at around 1,500 customers.
Okay. And that's impressive. Tell us how you got your first 10 customers.
Well, that's an interesting one. Whenever we had been working online for a long time, so we had quite a sort of network. And we've been building this up for the launch, and we launched it for the first time in the 31st of March. And in our first week, we done about $450,000 when we initially launched it to go live.
This was March 31st, 2015.
Yep.
And what were you selling? What were people buying? Just the $297 annual plan, and you sold $450,000 worth of it?
$297 annual plan, and we also had a $39 per month plan. But we find quite a lot of people just went for the annual plan.
Okay, so that means if it was a $297 price point and you did $450,000 in sales, that means you sold about 1,500 new customers. Is that right?
Yeah.
And was this like an affiliate launch or something?
Yes.
Okay, exactly what's the kickback you paid affiliates?
We paid 50% on the initial payment, and then 30% in the recurring.
In perpetuity, forever?
Mm-hmm.
So your margins are always locked below 70%. Then, if you have if the majority of your sales are coming from affiliates and you've committed to 30% in perpetuity for them, you kill your margins.
Initially, yeah, but your margins are like that. But the affiliate traffic, when an affiliate sends you a sale, it costs you nothing for that sale in terms of acquiring the customer, and then your costs are more just from the support and sort of server management along those lines.
Well, you could argue actually it does cost you something. It costs you 50% of year one sales. So if you're selling for $300, it costs you $150 to pay the affiliate. The difference is though it's a variable fee tied to the sale versus some fixed expense like you hiring employees.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just to understand, I mean that is your model today. It's an affiliate model. You pay 50% year one, 30% in perpetuity.
Yeah, well, that was our model initially, and then we expanded into sort of going into paid routes, and then we also built up a product line that we then internally launched to our own customers.
Okay, so now you have 1,500 customers paying $25 a month or $297 per year. So what, you're doing $37,000 a month in revenue?
No, we're on around this year. We're going to be hitting about 650 by the end of February.
What's your monthly recurring revenue? I don't like talking about forward-looking projections because anyone could say anything for those. So last month, how much did you do?
Last month, we done about $60,000.
60?
Yeah.
And that's MRR, correct? So if someone paid you $300 for a year plan last month, you divided by 12, and that's what you added to the 60,000, right? You didn't put the whole 300 there.
Well, we have our package is $297 per year, And then we have people who bought our package would have customers who would pay a one-time fee of $497, which would be for additional sales materials and trainings on how to sell apps to other businesses. And then we have another higher end package at around $2,500 is the average, where that was someone who actually wanted us to build out a website for them for their agency or to bolt on to their existing agency.
So Chris, by the way, I love the combination of professional services and SaaS. I think it makes your SaaS customers more sticky when you have them pay a setup fee to build out the mobile app in the first place. But for the sake of this interview, just your SaaS revenue, ignore all the one-time stuff. Last month, how much?
Just our SaaS revenue,
yeah,
and not alone. It would be around sort of 35,000.
Yeah. That's what I calculated. So about 35,000 grand a month from 1,500 customers paying $25 a month, but most of them are paying $297 per year.
Yep.
Yeah. Very good. And again, just the SaaS revenue. Where were you a year ago in terms of monthly revenue?
We've been sitting around. A year ago, we were actually around. We were a bit lower. We were about 30. This time last year, it would be about sort of 30,000.
Okay.
So we've kind of increased it a little bit. It's down from when we initially launched in 2015, which was just, I mean, you don't bootstrap a company and then all of a sudden, imagine the statistically speaking, you don't go and make $1 million in your first year from a bootstrap company. And then we had a bit of a drop off each year. And then the last year, we've picked it back up again.
How did you sign up all your affiliates in the beginning? Where'd you find them?
Years of networking, going to events, speaking to people, and just creating relationships. Which is probably not just sort of pick up the phone and say hello, but actually create sort of like a network of people, like a mastermind, sort of join mastermind groups and be among the people.
So which mastermind are you part of that you got the most affiliates from?
We went to, it was a man called Colin Mersey, it was called the $1 Billion Mastermind, and we met quite a few contacts through it.
Okay. The $1 Billion Mastermind.
Mm-hmm.
And why do these affiliates promote the product? Did they all use it themselves, or did they just say, "Wow, our CPC on this, or our cost, our earnings per clicks, our EPC when we send an email blast for Zappable is $6, everything else is $2, so we're going to keep marketing Zappable"?
Yeah, because it had to be a fit. It has to be a fit to their product first of all. So that's one of the ways, and then the other ways they promoted it and it worked. So we'd have an affiliate who would promote in year one, and then he'd promote again, would arrange a time, either 6 months or 12 months down. He'd promote again because he'd be getting new customers as well. And we've just continued to do that over the years.
Okay, that's great. And then what do you get today in terms of total team size?
We're currently at 5. There's myself, my brother, we have 2 support staff and a CEO staff.
And where's everyone based?
We're based in Northern Ireland and Scotland and England.
Okay.
It's all remote.
Okay, Ireland and remote. Great. And then talk to me about churn. Churn's critical in a SaaS company. So of all the people that signed up, a year and a half ago, how many of them renewed the second year?
Our churn's around 20% annually.
Okay. So if 100 people signed up a year ago, today, when they all have to renew, only about 80% renew.
Yep.
Okay. That's actually not that bad. The people that churn, why do they churn?
Why do they churn? We find the main reason is because most people are joining us in order to build apps, to sell the apps to businesses, like other
agencies,
offline businesses. Yeah, it's like the reseller model. And we find the majority of the reason is that they just it wasn't working for them for whatever reason. It happens. So now that's when we developed our new product line to go on top, because we started speaking to the people who've been with us basically from year one. And one of our staff members was one of our customers. So we actually brought him in, and then he started teaching our user base basically how to sell more apps. And then we sort of went from there.
That's great. Very good. All right. Any plans to raise capital right now or no?
It's something that we're looking at. Probably into the end of sort of this year coming, we're having a wee nosy because the way I see capital, as you know yourself, It's simply just, it could take us 2 years to bootstrap it. With capital, it could take us 6 months. It's kind of just reduces the time.
Let me ask you this. If you did raise today, I mean, what would you value your company at today?
It's impossible for me to even sort of put a figure on that.
Why?
Because you value your company at can be valued completely different by someone else. There's never a congruent value.
Well, yeah, that's why I'm asking. That's why I'm asking you, not someone else. You, what would you value the company at?
I would say somewhere in the 4 to 5 million range.
Yeah. So you're doing 335 grand a month right now. So that in just pure SaaS, that's 420 grand a year. So you're basically saying you think you're worth maybe 10x that.
Yep.
Yeah. Interesting. Good stuff. Let's wrap up here with the famous 5. Number 1, what's your favorite business book?
Black Box Thinking.
Black Box Thinking. Good. And then number 2, is there a CEO you're following or studying right now?
I follow Warren Buffett quite a lot.
Okay. Number 3, what's your favorite online tool to build a company?
I like Slack.
Number communication. That's good. Yeah. Number 4, how many hours of sleep do you get every night?
It varies. Probably 6 to 8.
6 to 8. Good. We'll say 7 on average. And what's your situation? Married, single, kids?
Married, 4 kids.
4 kids. Okay. How old are you?
35.
All right, Chris. Last question. What do you wish your 20-year-old self knew?
To have a bit more common sense.
Guys, have more common sense. It's common, but it's not common practice. Coming from, again, Zappable founder Chris launched in 2015 with his brother. Now 1,500 customers paying $25 a month for their mobile app building tool. They're doing about 35 grand a month right now in revenue, up from 25 grand a month just a year ago. Bootstrap team of 5 in Ireland and remote locations. They're churning about 20% of their customers each year on a logo basis, spending 50% of first year ACV to acquire the customers when they're using their affiliate model. Chris, thank you so much for taking us to the top.
Thanks very much, Nathan.